Hey, real quick before the video gets started, I designed this shirt. If you're interested in picking up one in large, extra large, or 2XL, check for the link in the description below. On to the video.
This is my ride for today, my first drive in my dream car. I always said that I would never drive one of these unless it was my own. Well, this one ain't mine, it's my wife's, but I can drive it whenever I want, so I'm about to do that. Let's get on it. Welcome back to another Tech Junkie video. In today's video, I'm doing something that I've wanted to do for more than 5 years. I'm finally getting in the driver's seat of my dream car. I bought my wife a Dodge Challenger Hellcat a few days ago. A link for that video is in the description below. I always said that I would never drive a Hellcat until I had one of my own. And while this one is hers and I have the Ram TRX, I'm going to drive this car today. I'm going to give you my first impressions of it and whether or not it lives up to the hype, at least in my own head. I've always wanted a Challenger Hellcat. This will be my first time driving the Supercharged Hellcat, and I've got my own red key. So let's get this thing going. I can't wait. Let's see how it is. Now, it did rain last night, so the roads are still kind of moist. I'm going to drive careful. I'm not going to launch this thing, but we are going to see what all the fuss is about with this Hellcat. Now, I have the Ram TRX, and I love it, but it's also 3,000 pounds heavier than this Challenger. This Challenger has a little bit more horsepower, so I'm extremely curious as to how much faster this car may be. I know the TRX tops out at 118 and the Challenger is supposed to top out close to 200. I know it's 200 on the speedo. I haven't ever seen any top speed runs on the Challenger, but all right, so we've got red key engaged, street mode, 700 plus horsepower. Let's get out of the neighborhood so we can give a true assessment of how things are going to play out with this thing. I can't wait to drive this car. I saw the first teaser video when it was just a teaser. I had the robotic cat and didn't even get to see the car. You just heard the supercharger whine. I guess at the end of 2014 maybe, or early 2015. It's a few months, several months before the car actually came out. That's impressive. It feels a lot looser than my truck, than my TRX. Steering and acceleration. It just happens a lot quicker than the TRX. A lot more responsive and intuitive. Again though, the TRX is so much heavier than the Challenger, so I expected it to be a little more tight. You put the same engine into a truck that weighs 3,000 pounds more. It's impressive in that truck. It's even more impressive in this car. And I prefer the feel of driving a car over driving a truck. I just like being lower to the ground. I love my TRX. This is not to shit on my TRX or anything like that. This is my dream car, and I finally get my first opportunity to drive one. Now, we've owned this car for 4 or 5 days now, and I purposely didn't want to drive it until I had an opportunity to drive it alone and record my experience. The first 2 days we owned the car, after we took it home, it was in the shop. I did a video about that previously where when they jumped it off the showroom floor, it blew a fuse and one of the red keys didn't work properly. So it was in the shop for 2 days getting that stuff done. Being the time of the year it is, everything happens a lot slower because there's so much more demand for service. I waited a few days to let her get her fun in, and you know, I didn't want to take her car to work. So now that she's had enough time to play with it a little bit, I figured I'd get my first drive in now, and I'm enjoying it so far. It feels a lot different than my previous Challengers that I had. In 2011, I was in a much different place in life, and I rolled up to Crown Dodge in Fayetteville, and I bought the base model V6 Challenger, and it was indigo blue, and I loved it. Don't get me wrong, I love that car. Every time I would look at the right side of the dash and I saw that Challenger nameplate, I got this sense of I finally made it in life, and that was with the V6. And for about 6 months, every time I would look at that Challenger nameplate, I felt like I'd made it. And slowly, you know, over time, as I did a little bit better and a little bit better, I'd just become self-employed. I wanted something a little bit more. So I ended up buying an RT Classic. It was black with red stripes down the side, and I love that car. That was my favorite car for a long time. I owned it for almost 3 years. The major downside I had in that RT Classic was blind spots. I was getting on the interstate one day, and I merged into traffic, and I thought I had it, and I didn't have it, and I almost caused an accident, and it scared me. And I didn't like that feeling that I almost hit someone. And I looked, but I don't know if you've ever driven a Challenger before, but these cars have bad blind spots. If you're not careful, you could take someone out in a heartbeat. So I traded that car in for a truck, 2013 Ram 1500, which is now labeled the Classic, but at the time it was just the Ram 1500, and it was all black. And the day after I traded that Challenger, I missed it, but I didn't buy another one for 6 years. And finally in 2019, I bought a 2018 Scat Pack, and my mind was blown over the difference between the two cars. And I love that one too. But that one, I felt like I settled because I didn't get the one that I wanted. I bought one, pre-owned one off the lot. It was white, and I'm not a big fan of white. I don't know why I even bothered buying it. It was a manual transmission, which I loved at first, but where I live and where I work, there's a lot of construction, so there's a lot of congestion in traffic, and it's no fun driving a manual transmission when you're just stopping and starting and stopping and starting. So within a few months, I took the hit and went back, and I traded the white one for a Destroyer Gray 2019, and that one had blind spot alert. That was a big deal for me, and I love that car as well. But I kept that one for about a year, and I wanted to maneuver myself to be able to get a truck, and instead of trading it for a truck, I bought a Dodge Charger Daytona. Now by this point, my credit was a little bit better, so I was able to get out of the Scat Pack and get into the Charger. My payment went down enough to where I could also get a truck, so I traded the Destroyer Gray Scat Pack for a 2020 Ram 1500 Bighorn, and then 2 days later I got the 2020 Charger Daytona. And because my credit had improved that much over the year, interest rates of course went down, and I ended up not spending as much as I would have the year previous. But when I had the opportunity to get the Ram TRX, I jumped on that. So I got rid of the Daytona and the Bighorn and got the TRX. With the TRX, it was kind of a surprise thing. I didn't expect to get that truck. I wasn't looking for one, but one became available and I got it. And the same thing happened with this Hellcat. Jess is into European cars, and that's not necessarily my taste. I like American muscle cars. She likes her European cars, and she's the past 2 or 3 years she's driven the Jaguar F-Pace, and she also had a Jaguar XE, which I kept when she got the F-Pace, so I would have something that was better on gas, and we still have that car as well. One day out of nowhere, she's like, my birthday's coming up and I like driving the TRX. I want to get a Hellcat, but she wanted a Charger. And I talked about that in a previous video. She had said something about wanting a Charger. So I said, okay, well, let's see if you can find a Charger. And she looked around, and this time of year with tax time and stimulus money going out, a lot of people are buying cars. This is the biggest time of the year to buy a car for the consumer. So there's not a lot of stock on lots for stuff that you want, and we couldn't find any Chargers, any Charger Hellcats that she liked. She wanted Go Mango Orange or Destroyer Gray. It was one or the other, and it had to have a moonroof, which is fine. I like the moonroof as well. Couldn't find anything, and as ironic as it was, she stumbled upon a Go Mango Orange Hellcat Challenger, my dream car, at a dealership that's less than a mile from where I work every day. I don't know how she found it. But she found it, and 12 hours later we signed the contract and took it home, and then went back in the shop the next morning. But you know, now we have it, and this journey is complete. I have the Ram TRX, she has the Hellcat Challenger, and we still have the Jaguar XE. We're we're going to do some content with both vehicles together, and we're going to customize both vehicles, so make sure you stay tuned. I appreciate you guys watching these videos. Since I started doing more automotive content, interest in my channel has increased exponentially. I am going to still do tech content. Got a little bit of a straightaway, let's open it up. This car is effortless with its speed. A little ADD moment there. Okay, so back to what I was talking about. We're going to do more. We're going to customize the TRX. We've got some graphic design plans in place for that, and she's got some design plans in place for this Hellcat. So make sure you stay tuned. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I rambled a little bit long this morning. I just figured I'd give my story on, I figured I would tell my story from V6 to Hellcat. It's been a 10-year journey, so if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notified for all the videos. I appreciate you guys watching, and y'all take it easy.